Upset alert complete. The Wildcats hold on to hand Florida, their first loss of the season, as they take this one 106-100. What a game this was. Unfortunate that this is the only time we'll see these two teams match up in the regular season, but it falls in favor of the home side. The Kentucky Wildcats win it 100-106. A lot to break down here as we take a look at the final score. The Wildcats had 6 players in double digits in this one. They scored 100 points for the 5th time this season. The first time the Gators have allowed 100 points this season. The Wildcats have quite the gauntlet coming up next week. But right now, as we welcome you into our CBS Sports HQ studios, Haley Sutton joined by BJ Taylor. BJ, they are celebrating right now. They take down one of the undefeated teams in the country, and they kind of look like the #1 team in the country there down the stretch. What do you think of the Wildcats?
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, we spoke about it off camera, but this is why a lot of our experts are really high on Kentucky and chose them, is because they have such a balanced offense. I mean, when you look at this unit with Ortega, Owe, Kobe Bray was big today with a 23-point outburst, and just honestly, what a fun game this was. I mean, if you enjoy college basketball, if you enjoy points being scored, this was a heck of a way to kick off your new year in the college basketball season. I mean, both of these teams going up over 100 points. I was really impressed with Florida offensively,
yeah.
But we were watching this game and we were saying to ourselves, look, whoever gets to 100 first and whoever can come up with a couple timely stops is going to win this game. It just so happened to be this Saturday. That was the Kentucky Wildcats. So a good start for them in Lexington, Kentucky. We all know the key to becoming a conference champion and doing well in your league is protecting home court. Kentucky was able to do that today.
Yeah, and it really came off the hands of this kid right here, Kobe Bray. Just lights out today. 23 points off the bench. I want to point your direction, BJ, to the three-point shooting there. 7 of 9 from three-point land. Important because coming into this game, Florida was allowing just 20.7% from three-point land. How was he able to be so open and so effective from beyond the arc today?
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Mark Pope, right, and his offensive scheme. This is a guy who came in with huge expectations following up Coach Calipari and all the success that they had, especially early on in Calipari's career at Kentucky. And he's brought this offense that he had down at BYU and brought it over down to Lexington, Kentucky. He has a multitude of guys that can shoot the ball from the outside. There isn't one player that you can key in on, Haley, right? 6 players in double figures for the Wildcats today, but no player over 20 points. That speaks to the sort of balance that they have. So whenever you're going against Kentucky, you got to deal with 4 or 5 different weapons, and you never know who that guy might be on any given night. But today, this afternoon, happened to be Kobe Bray.
Yeah, and just looking at the stat sheet here, I mean, we knew offense was going to be at the forefront of this one, but defensively, maybe some work to do for both of these teams. How was how was Kentucky able to sort of outlast that battle defensively, especially when you think about their schedule coming up, BJ? We'll get to that in a minute, but certainly some things maybe to improve on for Pope's squad there defensively.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing, right, for Kentucky was that they had to contain Walter Clayton and they had to contain Elijah Martin. They didn't do a great job of containing
Walter Clayton had 33.
They didn't do a great job of containing either of those players, right? So, I mean, when you look at the fact that both of those guys were able to combine for 57 down there, the tape and the review will definitely be a lot of, look, great offense, poor defense for both of these teams, right? And if you are Kentucky, to win big, to win the SEC, to outlast a Tennessee, to outlast an Auburn in this extremely difficult league, the best league in college basketball, the defensive effort is going to have to pick up for Coach Mark Pope's crew, right? You're not just going to be able to go into some of these road environments and shoot the ball at the same clip as you do at home, right? So I'm expecting a lot of offense from Kentucky, and as we move throughout the season, the biggest question that they're going to have to get answered is, can the defensive side of the ball improve?
Yeah, can't allow 33 to one of the best guys on the floor. When we look at the SEC as a whole right now, we knew it was going to be a good conference, right? But coming into today, the 3 unbeaten teams left standing in college basketball came from the Southeastern Conference. Obviously, there's only 2 now with Florida falling. But when you look at the SEC as a whole here, where do you put Kentucky now that they just got this big win over Florida? I know we still have Tennessee sitting at #1. They are unbeaten. That game currently underway against Arkansas. But, man, Auburn, Alabama, even South Carolina, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, these are all teams in this conference that make it kind of messy, BJ.
Yeah. For me, Kentucky's 3rd right now, right? And honestly, I'm going to have to put them behind Auburn with Johnny Broome, who I think has a real chance to be the national player of the year in college basketball. And at 2nd, I have Alabama, right? Mark Sears is a tested guard. He's been through the college basketball game. Nate Oates is still one of the preeminent coaches now in college basketball. So I would have to go Auburn, Alabama. It's crazy that the Iron Bowl in basketball is my top 2 teams in the SEC. It's kind of wild to even say it out loud. But then third, I would go Kentucky. Tennessee right now, I think they've coasted on a little bit of what Florida coasted on, right? We saw today Florida was undefeated, but they hadn't really been challenged. Tennessee's sort of the same thing. Let's see what they do this afternoon against Arkansas. This is a chance for them to show the college basketball world that they're for real, or maybe they've just, you know, played us a little bit. We're going to find out. But right now, that would be my top 3 in the SEC.
It is so crazy. I know they didn't get it done maybe in the football season, but man, SEC is a basketball conference. He's BJ Taylor helping us break down this big win for Kentucky today. One final look at that scoreboard, 100-106. It is the Kentucky Wildcats walking away with a big win, taking down the previously unbeaten Florida Gators.